Hey! This is KJ and welcome to our second episode of Business Mondays. Etong ating bagong program aims to promote business and entrepreneurship and make sure that every overseas Filipino would also be inspired na mag-start ng kanilang journey towards entrepreneurship. And of course, ang ating mga guests na i-featured dito would be entrepreneurs and also yung mga Filipinos then who are starting their businesses but at the same time inspiring other people to do their or to try the path of entrepreneurship. We are currently streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And this episode will also be available sa aking Pera and Purpose podcast on Apple, Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcast. So kung bago ka sa channel ni Kuya Jay, please like, share, and subscribe the Purpose Driven Finance on Facebook, YouTube, and also connect with me on LinkedIn. So, thank you so much sa ating regular viewers out there. And of course, ang ating second episode, we will be joined by Mr. Frando Sarmiento. Nakilala ko siya sa event ng Philippine Business Council a few weeks ago. And just a quick intro about his background. He is an agribusiness management graduate of UP Los Baños. He's been in Dubai since 2005 and has been involved in sales and business development practice together with product development and risk management credentials in varied industries like consumer electronics, steel distribution, and even financial markets. Currently, he is in the data and information analytics, credit information, and technology services. He always had entrepreneurial spirit, dabbling in various private businesses natang twister si KJ, private businesses, and now with his newly launched Auto Service Center where they specialize in luxury cars and currently serving locals in the UAE. So please help me welcome the owner of Luxurion Auto Service Center, Mr. Frando Sarmiento. Bro, kamusta ka dyan? Ayan, may ano tayo, may audience tayong pumapalakpak eh.
Ang daming pumapalakpak ha. I think millions of viewers and followers meron ha. Just correct ko lang ng konti ha. Actually, yung ownership ng Luxurion, although it's under my name, is also with a partner and GM ng garage is Florante. So Florante is my business partner and he's the GM of the garage.
Shout out kay Florante and mamaya we'll also talk about yung history ng Luxurion and most definitely I'm really interested about your story kasi I think ikaw lang yung una kong nag-guest dito sa program ko na nakapasok sa mga positions na hindi yung typical na napupuntahan ng mga Filipinos eh. And it's also one thing that I hope you can share with us para may makuhang nuggets of wisdom ang ating mga Filipinos dito sa part na to ng mundo. So, bro, bago tayo mag-start, gusto ko munang malaman, ano bang OFW story mo, bro? Para at least ma-inspire natin sila to start.
Medyo masalimot. Hindi, no, joke lang. Pero hindi, how do I say it? It all started siguro, if I'm gonna really go about it, it started siguro when I finished uni. I told myself na I'm gonna give it 5 years. If I do find it good or I feel like it's quite successful naman ang career ko in Manila or back at home, siguro I would want to stay. But at the same time, I've always had, even as a kid, yung parang siguro nangangating pa, sabi nga nila, to travel and go places. So I've always had my mind like set out to travel and go somewhere. But then, yeah, so it just so happened after 5 years, I mean, to cut the long story short, I've had a lot of, let's say, opportunities back home, interesting ones. I can tell them. Siguro I can go one by one later on if it goes down to exploring every bits and pieces. Pero as I can say, siguro it just so happened back in those days, I had a cousin who was staying here in Dubai. She's got a family here, and I've reached point na party animal kasi pag Manila lifestyle. And I thought, okay, this is not taking me anywhere. I should probably take it seriously and just out of the blue, I think it happened like sometime in October of 2004. I was like, okay, ate, I'd like to go. By January, I was in Dubai. It's just like that.
Wow.
I decided anywhere I put my mind in or set my mind into it, it doesn't matter.
Uh-huh.
Whichever location, whichever country, whichever opportunity knocks. And I think that's how everyone should think. That
Mm-hmm.
nothing is there is nowhere that you cannot thrive. Every place can be an opportunity. It's if you believe in yourself. It's if you've got the confidence, go for it. Just be positive about it, and go for it. Go for it. I think what you have to do is to refuse the naysayers.
Uh-huh.
Get it off your head when people say that this is the only thing you can do. You're limited by this and that. That
Uh-huh.
I think history would say that in any nationality, in any country, nothing will stop you if your mind is into it. So just go for it.
Grabe,
And that's
iba
how
yung mindset
I
mo,
got
no?
to Dubai. Huh? Ganun na?
Iba yung mindset mo. Ibang klase yung mindset mo. It's like mental toughness as what people would tell me, no. And so before ka nag-Dubai, you mentioned na graduate ka muna sa pagiging party animal mo or what. And pero
Dapat pala
how
di ko
did
na
you
sinabi
develop
yun,
that?
no?
I mean, lahat naman tayo eh. Even I
Ah,
was siguro if I'm gonna share a piece of my story kasi ako naman before ako naging into this kind of activities, ako rin I had to go out, enjoy that kind of lifestyle kasi ako naman nag-start ako sa call center sa Philippines eh before I came here. And ang lifestyle namin noon was
teka,
umaga yung
akala ko hindi ka tumitigil sa party mo.
sana nga eh parang ganun ganun yung ano namin noon eh parang after ng shift okay ang
Ah,
inuman namin is 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. ganun kami kaabag kasi nga night shift siya. Now, ngayon bro, itong napansin ko dun sa ano mo nung ini-stalk ko yung LinkedIn mo. Ang mga
oh.
positions na nakuha mo is not the oo stalker eh no. So it's not the usual positions that every Filipino na nakilala ko nagawa ito. So ito just some of the examples bro no ng
Mhm.
mga career highlights mo as a professional dito sa UAE. You were part of Bosch as a channel distribution manager and
That's in
then
Manila
merong isang
actually.
this is in Manila. Okay.
Yep.
And then dito
The
naman
next
ito
one,
what about itong German company? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right but this is
ThyssenKrupp.
ThyssenKrupp Group.
Yep,
Oh, yun.
ThyssenKrupp. Yeah, German company, yes. Bosch is
Oo.
German.
Dito
ThyssenKrupp is German. Yes. So ThyssenKrupp is the first company that I've joined in Dubai.
Oh, okay. And ang position mo dito kaagad was a territory sales manager. And then
Mhm.
after a few years, nag-work ka sa Dubai Gold and Commodities Exchange. And
Mhm.
you're the first Filipino na nakilala ko na doon nag-work. And you are the head of commodity products and business development. And then
Mhm.
after 8 years na nandoon, you are part of Euler Erms. And being in the financial service industry before, this is a huge company in terms of, I think, credit or so, right? And you are head of the direct business development. And currently, part ka nung Criff Golf or Dunn and
Dun and
Bradstreet as
Bradstreet.
a as a
Yes.
senior business
Yes.
development manager. Now, I'm amazed by the kinds of positions na napuntahan mo, no? And ako kasi nung galing ako ng Philippines, I was working as a team leader na sa BPO. Pero nung dumating ako rito, nag-start uli ako from ground zero or from square one, which is
Mm.
maging call center agent. Pero sa iyo, how did you manage to do that kind of feat if ano nga and ano yung technique talaga no or mindset
Mm.
na-share mo na yung mindset kanina pero ano yung strategy na ginawa mo para ma-acquire yung mga ganong top level positions at when you started in Dubai?
Interesting question and also interesting observation. I guess when I landed sa desierto,
Aha.
uh, I guess I would say typical mentality sa atin talaga. I guess the kind of observation that you limit yourself or you're limited to this. I
Mhm.
have a few people that I know here, I know around, and I hanged around with them before I
Aha.
was looking for a job, and everyone was saying that, Frando, this is the kind of market for Dubai, for a Filipino, this is what you're gonna get. These
Aha.
are the opportunities, blah blah blah, and I just listened. But for me, it's just I refuse to believe in such things. And
Uh-huh.
it's when you think that way, it's the energy that you create, it's the aura that you create, it's the
Mhm.
environment that you will also thrive in, and it will also show with the people that you speak with when you go to
Mhm.
interviews. Because for me,
Mm.
the basic key, the basic element for getting such a job is to try and get that interview. That's the
Mm.
most thing that I understand that there are. It's a reality in this part of the world, in this market, that there is. I don't want to say the word, but prejudice. Prejudice, yes. There's quite. Yeah, it's quite obvious the prejudice. It's very
Mhm. Mhm.
prejudicial to a certain, I would say.
Degree. Yeah.
Yeah, and certain people, certain culture,
Yeah.
whatever you may
Yeah.
want to call it. But there is. But then again, I also refuse to be bogged down by that kind of situation.
Mhm.
For
Mhm.
me, if you try and try, there will come a point that you will bump into something, someone, somebody who
Mhm.
doesn't give a hoot about such a thing, or who doesn't care about such things, who also doesn't believe it. So I remember when I had an interview with the managing director of this German company. He's actually French.
Uh-huh.
Um, siguro it helps if, well, during that time, siguro it helps kasi ako sa family namin, wala naman talagang malabo mo ko marinig na nag-i-English sa buong
Okay.
family namin. I was born in Mindoro. I grew up in Batangas. I studied in La Salle High School. Probably this is the only place where I would speak in English in school, in high
Mhm.
school or in uni, during subjects or whatever. But with the family, no way. It's just siguro mapapatingin sa yung mga barkada mo, family mo, pag nag-English ka. But I devoured a lot of English movies, television. I read a lot of books. Everything is about
Mhm.
outside the Philippines. Of course, I love the history of our country as well. I read all of them,
Uh-huh.
but then it's because of the interest of reading, watching videos, movies, TV, all these things. Siguro, like for example, the way I speak to you right now, more on American neutral
Yeah.
na na English. So it helps siguro if, because I remember the many interviews from then on, from the beginning, since even in Manila and
Mhm.
up to
Mhm.
here in Dubai, and as I go through other companies, there is always that. Okay, so there's the prejudice existing, right? But then,
Mhm.
because if you are fluent with English and you're capable to level up with them, and they are expecting, especially if, I guess, majority of us here in this part of the world would have a different accent when that they are used
Mhm.
to when they speak to them.
Mhm.
So it's always a common reaction from, even with my friends in Manila. I have a lot of expat friends back in Manila, and
Mhm.
it's always the common comment: How come you speak differently, Frando?" And I would say, "No, it's not. It's just that probably because you get to speak only to me, but there are other people who speak the same way, because
Mhm.
especially in our country, we are influenced by the Americans. So we watch a lot of American TV and movies. So a lot of people actually speak quite decent, neutral American way of saying or talking. So
Mhm.
I guess it helps. What I'm just trying to point out is siguro nakatulong yun sa akin
Yeah.
back in my job in Manila and even here, that whenever I get interviews, they would always ask, "So did you grow up somewhere? Did you study there, here, States, Europe, whatever?" And I say, "No, I finished at home." Um, but then again, as I was saying, when I try to look for jobs, I of course I have to recognize that there's prejudice, as I've said. May
Uh-huh.
existing talaga yan dito,
Hindi
or
maalis.
siguro pwedeng malis. This is the thing that siguro mentality ko nga, we
Uh-huh.
can refuse to believe na hindi maalis. And this is the
Yeah.
same mentality that I have when I look for a job or doing something. I refuse to
Mhm.
believe na I will be bogged down by the prejudice. So for me, it's about find me an interview. If I can get an interview, I'll nail the job. And that's exactly what I did many times over. Na, so long as I get the interview, I'll prepare for it, or at least
Mhm.
siguro typical salesman na nga rin ako. And I use certain words in such a show na if I know how to bull my way around, if you know what I mean.
Uh-huh.
I don't.
Yeah, well,
I'm not saying the exact word, but the bull. I know how to bull myself around. So,
yeah, you know how to
as
carry
long.
yourself in certain situations.
Yeah. So, siguro it helps. Na I love being in sales, business
Uh-huh.
development. So, if you are into such a market, dapat you have the confidence. Sabi nga nila, dog eats dog in the sales
Mm-hmm.
environment. So, you have to have the personality, the strong type, to be able to speak to any level, be it senior level or any person in a
Mm-hmm.
certain position, either low or high or middle. It helps siguro na all are well-rounded person ka na pwede ka
Mm-hmm.
makipag-usap na parang nasa kanto ka lang, pwede rin ako doon. So, kapag nasa probinsya ako, sa Liba, sa Mindoro, where I was born,
Uh-huh.
salitang Mindoro rin ako. Accent ko,
Okay.
Mindoro. Pag nasa Lipa ako, Batanggenyo ako. Pag nasa Manila ako, Manileño yung accent ko. It's not because you force it. It's because you acclimatize or
Yeah.
it comes out naturally na parang instinctive na
Mm-hmm.
you're the person you speak with would naturally understand you if you blend according to so that also works in sales and especially when I'm
Mm-hmm.
as I was saying with the interview with the French MD, he was impressed. The only thing that he said was, but you don't have a driver's license in Dubai, and I'm the only guy in the company that he would hire potentially who's not an engineer.
Ah.
Everyone was an engineer in the office, but I'm not even an engineer. But he's willing to risk hiring me, and I didn't even have a driver's license. And he was saying that's the only
What?
thing that that's not going for you if I want to hire you. And I said, well, I'm driving back home. I don't see a reason why I cannot have a driver's license. And everyone knows in this part of the world, it takes you two,
Mm-hmm.
three, four, 5 times before you can get a driver's license. But I also had the same mentality
Yeah.
ever since that. Na, why can't I get a license in one go?
Uh-huh.
You all
Uh-huh.
you have to do is follow the rules for a few minutes. Just follow the rules and refuse to use your habits as a bad driver. And you will learn kasi, di ba meron namang driver's training muna bago ka
Yeah,
mag-exam.
dito.
So
Oo.
yeah. So just follow the rules and then you get it. And a month later, when they hired me,
Mhm, mhm.
I had a driver's license. Everyone was shocked because
Wow.
how the hell did you get a driver's license so quickly?
So
And I'm like,
quickly.
I mean, for me, it was no surprise, but I only realized later on how much of a big deal that was.
Yeah.
After I had the license. But yeah,
And
what
uh-huh.
I'm just trying to say is that siguro madaldal ako, di ba? Makwento rin. You, it's a mindset really. It's
Uh-huh.
when you say positivity, I really do believe in that. Your
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
character and the personality will drive you through wherever you want to go.
Yeah, and one thing I realized upon habang nag-usap tayo is that you're right, yung positivity is there and you do not confirm to the status quo na dahil
Mhm.
sinasabi nung nakapalibot sa'yo na hindi naman lahat ng Filipino can acquire this. Hindi ganyan yung usual na
Mhm.
kukuha natin dito. Pero you do not confirm to that. And one thing I also realize is that you know how to adapt sa mga situation. And
Mhm.
being adaptable dito sa isang part na to ng mundo is very important kung gusto mong maging relevant sa market. And like what you have
Mhm.
said, yung experience mo sa Philippines partnered with your love for learning through books,
Mhm.
through movies, through communication, I think has really helped you a lot para ma-acquire yung mga kung ano man yung na positions na nakuha mo in the past. And I mean, it started with the mindset and that mindset evolved into those habits that you mentioned kanina. And eventually, nung dumating ka dito, you were born ready for that. And that's the reason why parang nakita siguro nung French na manager mo before that you are not the typical Filipino that they have seen in the recent years. So sabi ito, si Mr. E is here. Ayan, Frando, wag mo pa no-speed si Jay. Oo nga, Mr. E.
Enrique, compare.
Na nosebleed. Ayan, si Miss Jackie is also here. And
Ala,
si
si
Miss
Jackie
G.
andyan din.
Ayan, sa Philippines, she's watching there. And
Okay.
we also have some
Gabi.
friends in Singapore. Ayan, mga entrepreneurs sa Singapore, si Mark you din, and also si Michael Pe. Ayan, shoutout sa inyo dyan sa Singapore. Ngayon bro, okay, so ang ganda na na-share mo, and definitely maraming mapupulot yung mga Filipinos dun sa experience mo as a professional, na mindset is totally everything. And now you also mentioned that you're still working in a certain company na hindi basta-basta yung position na ginagawa mo, but at the same time you also have ito yung baby mo right now, which is si Luxurion. Pero let's transition this conversation towards you being an entrepreneur, no? And you mentioned then sa profile mo na you have dabbled into different businesses or entrepreneurship ventures in the past. What are those, and what have you learned from those, and what or when was your first taste of entrepreneurship, by the way?
Okay. Where to begin? I would say siguro in uni kasi I business, in a way, agribusiness management, business management. We were being taught back in school kasi na if kailangan maging entrepreneur ka, yun yung ultimate goal, not to become an employee. Pero wala sa culture natin eh. I've seen, and siguro kita naman ng karamihan sa atin na ang bihira talaga ang may entrepreneur mindset sa atin, and only those who would dare become one ever do get to succeed. So if only we will be pushed to start and be an entrepreneur at the beginning from the start, siguro it will help. And I delayed my choice, or siguro my passion din not to manage my own business, kasi talaga ever since when I was young I said I want to be a business guy, I want to do business. But siguro the funny thing is, alam mo yun, di ba, paano ko ba sabihin, you get too comfortable kasi sa position. Especially if you live in this country, you get good position, you get good salary, and you get to travel the world. You get, I would say, lazy and comfortable, that yung risking it all becomes secondary na ulit. So that's what happened actually. I did have, I have some investments like properties back home, invest here and there, but nothing too serious na it's something big. So little things as investments, ganun lang, but not really managing my own. Actually, last year I also joined a team or a group of friends, quite a kind of like a huge group, which has its base in Subic, which could have many different businesses, from as simple as an ukay-ukay business, sending container loads of clothes, textiles, to frozen chicken, to oil and gas, to whatever. It's a huge organization. So I kind of like invested into that. Pero I can only imagine if indeed that would have to work out, I probably would need to go travel as often back home. And then sinabayan pa nga nitong garage that's open. Actually, last year lang to nag-open. So in a way, when it comes to entrepreneurship, I can be considered a newbie.
Okay, so it's based on so yung mga tinry mo lang back then were things na hindi ganun as active as what you are doing right now, no?
Not at all. It's more like masabi lang na may investments para ang palusot ko dyan, masabi lang na may investments somewhere there or whatever, para hindi masabi na nauubos sa kakagimik.
Okay. Para lang may mapaglagyan, and
para lang masabi na na hindi naubos sa gimmick. Yung may masasabi, uy, meron ako nito, meron ako niyan. So at least in that regard, I can say na whatever I work for, meron somewhere. Savings here, savings there, investments here, investments there. Pero nothing na I personally manage na like, of course I manage the properties, I rent them out. But that's just about it. And a few investments, playing in stocks, whatever, investments in, even the recent years, I have investments in cryptocurrencies. So
So more on sa paper ang yung paper and hard assets din ang meron ka, pero
Yeah.
technically in terms of yung running the full business, like pwedeng traditional or what, or startup one, ito
Mhm.
yung first time through Luxurion. And ano yung
And
mga
also that
mm,
trading business back home in Manila.
okay.
So
May
parang
office
ano siya.
doon for trading or paano
Yes,
siya?
it's a huge group,
Ah.
pero remotely ang participation ko ngayon is remotely, but we probably would have a cross exchange of trading from
Mhm.
Dubai to Manila.
Okay.
Probably the first thing you will do is yung export ng luxury vehicles to Manila. And
Oo,
many
oo nga
other
pala
products.
yung
It
kanina.
depends. So it
Yeah.
can be many other products as well. Pero there are many avenues back home. Tingnan
Mhm.
natin. We'll see. So far, so good.
Yeah, and so far, ano yung mga nagugustuhan mo sa experiences mo na to? Like, lalo nang dumating si Luxurion. As an entrepreneur,
Yes,
what's
it's always good that you have something palpable. Sabi nga nila,
aha,
if you have your own business, you get to be your own boss. It's
aha,
really it's a huge feeling.
mhm,
Whatever happens, you've got a business that you're running, you own, and you report to no one.
aha,
And it's siguro it gives you that freedom talaga. It's an amazing feeling. Then you have your own business and you don't have to report to anyone. But at the
mhm,
same time, I like also working in a multinational, and because
hmm,
um, because I like learning. I like learning new things. Siguro napansin mo nga dun sa career history ko, paiba-iba talaga. As in,
oo nga eh,
totally unrelated. I have no background for whatever company that I joined with whatsoever. But for me,
aha,
again, that mindset na if they can do it, I can also do it. I just need to have the
mhm,
interview and I'll nail it, or I'll try to nail it. And siguro, syempre, it's a numbers game then, just like in sales.
aha,
Sabi nga nila, the more prospects you meet, the more chances of you winning a sale. It's the same
mhm,
thing with interviews and getting into a company. For sure, I would have a lot of rejections. Not everyone would hire me, pero yun nga, it's about the mindset na keep trying. You'll eventually land into
mhm.
something. That's what I do.
Yeah,
That's what I did.
and dito sa current journey mo bilang entrepreneur, no? Meron ka ba sa tingin mo na bago ka nag-go na i-start tong venture na to, yung Luxurion auto service ninyo, were there any lessons na kailangan mo munang matutunan before bago mo sinabi sa sarili mo, okay, siguro I'm ready now for this kind of venture? Kasi like what you said kanina, no, iba-iba yung background mo eh. Pero I think this
Hmm?
is yung love mo for learning is something na different sa'yo. It's not everyone would do that kasi they wanna be comfortable sa isang profession or expertise na meron sila for their entire lives. But you're different eh. You run on a different anong tawag dito, operating system. Now,
Hmm.
dito sa Luxurion, ano yung mga lessons or skill set na sa tingin mo kailangan mong matutunan or malaman bago ka nag-start na i-venture out ito? Kasi this is a totally different ball game for you pero
Hmm.
you still tried it. So ano yun? What prepared you for this new venture of yours?
I guess since nga I like reading and
Mhm.
absorbing like a cotton information and experience of other people,
Mhm.
from the real businessmen themselves to whatever, from a book or whatever source, reading, watching, or observing people. Um, and having reached a certain age, you can also observe kasi and understand those things that other people are saying about, for
Mhm.
example, that idea that you don't have to be an expert of anything or everything,
Mhm.
really, but there is a way for you to, let's say, ano ba sabihin,
Mag-start or mag-connect with
uh,
to use the skills of
I,
others,
for,
mga ganyan.
I forgot the word. But so anyway, there's that word. Pero yun nga, na
Aha.
you don't have to be an expert in the field, but that's why there are other people that you can hire or that you can partner. If
Ah.
they are experts, you can leverage that. And
Leverage,
it just
yeah,
so
that's the
happened
word.
exactly. So well, that's one of the word. But ang sa akin, it's a confluence of events. Actually, normally I
Uh-huh.
take when I say ano yung secret or whatever in doing things, ang sinasabi ko lang, I think the basic about anything in life is be a kind person. Maging mabait ka kahit saan, kahit
Mm,
kanino. And
I love that.
when I say yun nga, yung positivity, it's the same positivity that you will emit.
Uh-huh.
Kasi your kindness will reflect to others, and others will be kind to you.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So you end up with kind people then, who would believe in you as well, and isusuklian ba kung ano man yun.
Mm-hmm.
They sabi nga rin nila, ask and the universe will
Receive.
give
Yeah.
it to, and you'll receive it from the
Yeah.
universe. So yeah, so I happen to know my partner right now. I was a client, they became a friend. We've
Mm-hmm.
been toying with the idea, what about this and that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he was in the market for 22 years here in Dubai, managing
Wow.
other luxury car garages. And then we were just playing with the idea na,
Idea.
hey dude, why are you having these stories na sinasabi mo na you made these guys rich, but you
Mm-hmm.
have the expertise, you have the connection and everything, and they're
Mm-hmm.
the ones benefiting, and you're an employee. And I said, why don't we do it ourselves? And
Mm-hmm.
before you know it, we just said, let's do it. And it's in the middle of the pandemic when we did it.
So you are the one na nag-spark nung idea and made it a reality. Kasi nga there are a lot of people na ang daming ideas, ang daming expertise, ang daming experience pero they are afraid because they think they cannot, and they just need
Mhm.
people like you to begin their own journey as well. So maganda 'yung
Mhm.
sinabi mo kasi nga hindi like kanina na hindi mo kailangan maging expert sa mga isang bagay para makapag-start ng business. Kasi yan din 'yung sinabi nung nakausap ko a few weeks ago na marami ring businesses in the Philippines. And like what he said, kailangan mo lang malaman naman yung basic, and then partner with different people, leverage their skill set, leverage their strengths, and then mag-add value ka na lang through the strengths that you have. And
Mhm.
ngayon, before we go dun sa topic natin na very specific kay Luxurion, ano, and gusto ko muna malaman
Just a
kasi,
second,
sige bro,
Jay. Sorry to stop you there.
sure.
Gusto ko rin lang to reiterate na hindi ko in-spark lang with my
Ah,
business partner, si Florante, yung
ah,
idea. It's more like
ah,
kami pareho had the same
ah,
mentality rin. So to be
okay.
fair, it's both me and him.
Both.
Na
Yeah. One has
mm.
to
So
agree as well.
ang naging because he saw the value na if he partners with me, kasi
Ah,
he says he's more of the technical guy, and
yeah.
when it comes to finance, sales, people relationship, he sees in me na I would have
Mm,
to take the responsibility, and he will take the
mm,
responsibility of being the mechanic, the GM, the one who operates the business, all the technical stuff.
okay.
And I see myself na sabi ko, oh, kasi I've handled many businesses na rin. Kasi
Uh-huh.
when you work for a company, any multinational, I
Uh-huh.
do believe when they say na you have to treat your job as if you own the business. Kasi that's
Yes.
how you prosper, and that's how you would eventually produce things. So kasi nga if you only think of yourself as an employee, you don't really care about expenses, this and that. You only care about is your salary, and
Salary
it
and all
doesn't
this.
help to have
Yeah.
a good business mindset if you think that way.
True. Oo, naka-box dun tayo na okay, ito
Mm.
lang yung oras na i-google ko dito sa company nito, and I'm just here for the paycheck. And tama yung
Mhm.
sinabi mo, no, na I always nung nag-work din ako sa isang company before, yan din sinasabi ko sa mga katrabaho ko na we have to treat this job like we are the owner of this company, kasi nga if hindi natin gagalingan, then definitely hindi rin maging maganda yung performance ng company natin, and ano siya cycle siya it would happen.
Yeah.
Now, eto bro, you are also you also have a full-time job, and while running this baby of yours, paano mo i-manage yung time mo? What's a day to day like? I mean, what's your day to day activities like?
Siguro magtatagalog na ako ngayon kasi delikado.
Sige.
um, siguro, paano ko ba sabihin? I think I cannot explain on that for certain technicalities, but
Okay, sige,
it
yung ano lang,
works.
time
It
management lang.
works. It works in a certain way.
Mhm.
Pero yun nga, there are certain ways na pwedeng gawin, and as far as I can siguro say,
Mhm.
yun nga, namamanage ko siya in a different way.
Okay. So ano mo 'yun, it's parang time management skills na you have to learn as well. Kasi may mga nakausap din akong ganyan na they also have a side hustle of their own pero hindi nila
Mm,
nakakapapabayaan yung kanilang, full-time job, and I think it's
mm,
something that we also should have. Kasi yung ibang sinasabi, "Hindi ako makakapag-start ng business kasi nga I'm very busy with my job." Pero how
mm,
come may iba nakakapag-invest ng 2 hours of their evening to build their empire, 'di ba? So,
mm.
I mean, it's definitely not an excuse na gusto nating sabihin sa mga only about how we prioritize our time. So, yun yung I think na kailangan nating ipakita sa kanila and all. Now, talking about itong si Luxurion, ano, ito na talaga siya. Ang daming haba na intro, no,
Siguro
bago.
siguro siguro may dadagdag ako doon sa
Sige,
sinabi mo. Para na rin may
sige bro.
contribution ako na hindi ko ma-explain bakit. Pero yung kumbaga kasabihan na lang, naalala ko sa amin sa Los Baños, ang
Aha.
hiritan sa amin kasi nga gagawin kakayanin. So ang kasabihan lagi sa amin
Yes.
pag gusto may paraan, pag ayaw may dahilan.
Mhm.
Ganun lang kasimple.
Yes.
Totoo 'yun.
Totoo, oo, oo, oo.
Oo, di ba?
We've experienced
Halimbawa,
that.
may nililigawan kang babae, ayaw mo niyan.
Ayan.
Pero dahil gusto mo yung babae, gagawin mo lahat. Walang hindi pwede, di ba?
Yeah. Kung gusto mo talaga,
Same thing in life.
gag
Same thing in life. Kung anong
aha,
pag gusto, gagawin mo ng paraan. Pag ayaw, gagawa kang dahilan. Ganun
dahilan,
kasimple.
yeah. Excusers, or it's either you execute or you make excuses. Yun daw yun. Now, eto na, ang yung baby na Luxurion Auto Repair
Mhm.
and Auto, ito yung gusto ko pag-usapan dahil
Mhm.
first time ko nagkaroon ng interview with an auto repair industry na business owner. So, ano yung
Mhm.
inspiration nyo doon? Kanina you mentioned mo na yung nakilala mo yung business partner mo doon kasi he has this long experience and I think a long list of clients na rin before
Yep.
you started, no?
Mhm.
And what was it the main inspiration of Luxurion or was there something else?
I guess yun yung backbone. There is already
Mm,
that client list, and as they say, siguro especially in this part of the world, since karamihan siguro about 80% are locals as
yeah.
clients, Emiratis, and one Emirati family would have 8 to 10 cars, mostly luxury cars,
Wow.
and extended families din sila, di ba? So
Yeah.
if you have one family, it's like you have a fleet, cousins, relatives, and
Grabe.
all that. So
Oo.
if 80% are local families, so dun pa lang ang dami
Aha.
na clients. So the
Nice.
recipe is all there. It's too obvious to
Mm.
na pitasin na lang. So it's almost like a no-brainer para sa amin dalawa ni
Yeah.
Florante. Now why can't we start this on our own?
Mhm.
So yun talaga. We saw the value,
Mhm.
and especially with, as they say, the rich people. Whatever happens, if there's a pandemic, if there's a crisis, if there's a financial crisis, whatever, they'll still be rich.
Yeah,
So
because they know.
it's kind of like recession-proof yung business. So it's a no-brainer.
Mm. Oo, kasi nga ang clients nyo are ano ba, high-end or high net worth
Yep.
individuals, especially if they're
Mhm.
locals, no? And
Yep.
maganda dahil nagkaroon kayo ng parang nagkaroon kayo ng gantong idea na ituloy siya since sinabi
Mhm.
mo siguro nag-trigger sa kanya na o nga no, tama yung sinasabi ni
Mhm.
Frando na dapat I should be having my own business na rin. And eto yung gusto ko malaman din na kanina natatanong ko sana ano yung main responsibility mo dun sa business pero na-mention
Mhm.
mo na rin siya na you are the one who is going to get the sales or what or market it and all, and then sila dun sa you also have ano 'di ba yung parang ang partners mo isang mechanic and also there's one guy, right, that like I think ano yung isa niyang expertise yung pinaka main mechanic ninyo.
Well, no, actually, si Florante is a former instructor ng mechanics
Mm,
for Mercedes-Benz.
okay.
So, ang dami ng mechanics in the Middle East, in Dubai, even worked abroad na was under his wing as an instructor.
Mm,
He's a
I
mechanical engineer, so
see.
he knows what he does.
Wow. Okay.
So, when it comes to expertise, I guess yung confidence level ko, may pagmamalaki ko talaga yung partner ko. And then actually yung key of operating a luxury car garage is yun nga, yung trust factor na
Mhm.
kasi yung 80% na local clients, they follow him wherever he goes. Kasi nga, it's a trust thing. It's not anymore
Yeah.
the garage kahit saan na yung location. It's really that
Mhm.
person na. So if unless you have that reputation, mahirap pang maintain a luxury cars. It would be
Yeah.
a disaster if you don't have an
Oo
existing
nga, no?
clientele and following. It would be difficult. You probably would go down easily. So the important thing is yun talaga merong credibility yung main person, yung main guy to make this business work.
Yeah, and actually kanina may pinapakinggan akong podcast, no, may isang nagsabi doon na meron silang kotse na I think nakabili pa na 2008 and 300,000 miles na daw yung kanilang natakbo. And meron lang silang isang mechanic sa kanilang family for the entire lifetime. And I think nung sinasabi mo yan, oo nga, no, parang palang ang mechanic ay isa na ring family doctor na ipagkakatiwala mo yung buhay mo sa kanya. Ganun yung
In a way, yes.
Oh, in a way, yes, 'di ba? Kasi may mga mechanics din na ayaw mong ipahawak yung kotse mo doon. Although wala akong personal kotse, pero yung kotse namin sa Pinas is yung family car namin. Meron lang talagang isang particular na mechanic na pinagkakatiwalaan yung tatay ko. And ito nga yun eh. Oo.
Go, parang ang tawag lang dyan sa halip na sa tao hospital, edi tawagin nating car hospital.
Yes, exactly. Ngayon, ito yung isang gusto ko ring malaman dahil yung mga partners mo, you've been with them and yung experience nila ay mahaba and expertise nila is malawak. Lalo-lalo na sa luxury cars. Pero ito yun, what's your strategy to make sure na the business will survive on its own without you or your partners working in the business eventually? Kasi parang sila yung kayo ba?
It's gonna be a challenge to make it work on its own, primarily because again, as I've said, the strong foundation of business is the trust with the GM. His history is being a mechanic, as a mechanical engineer. So if ever we're gonna go to that route, we can just be outside as an observer and managing from a distance. We have to transfer that trust and confidence to whoever we would put in the garage. And in that case, it will be a long process, but definitely it can be done. Why not? Pero eventually that would be the case. Kasi as I've said as well with my partner, I don't want him to be working a full year every 24 hours. It would be good to always have a vacation with his family. So importante na there is someone that can be trusted in there and who can handle the business even if he's not around. Kasi it's not a good business if there's only one person that you can rely to and rely with. So we definitely would go and take that route of transferring the expertise and the confidence level of our clients either to me or to somebody else that we assign and represent the company.
Oh, meron kayo parang iti-train na next next in line.
Yeah.
And
it has to be, otherwise it has to be kasi it's not good business na you rely on only one person.
Yeah, oo. Kailangan may other people involved and hindi ikaw lang dapat yun nandoon. So with that in mind, no, ito yung napaisip din ako, no, kasi yung kapitbahay namin may talyer sila doon and parang for the entire generation nandun na yung talyer nila. Iba-iba, parang ganun na nag-grow yung business nila na yung anak naging mekaniko, parang naging typical na naging cycle sa kanila yon. Pero sa inyo, tanong ko siguro is how do you think should you grow an auto repair business? What would be a great strategy?
There are many avenues actually, and that's the reason siguro na gusto rin ng partner ko yung separation of duties namin dalawa na I'll be responsible for sales and marketing, finance and management of the garage, and he's just responsible for the technical side. Kasi nga ako, I'm coming from sales and business development side. I met you where? PBC. That's True. It. I know how to network. I know how to get to connect with people. In fact, right now we've had a few from PBC visiting
Uh-huh.
already. Um,
Nice.
and yeah, so there are many ways to do it. I've been in the business as well in sales and marketing for the last 22 years. Jesus, I'm old. Um,
Hindi naman halata, bro.
so there are many ways to skin a cat. It's just that right now we are not even full blown launched yet. We're
Uh-huh.
actually relying mostly with the existing clients. We
Mhm.
try to siguro push here and there to people we know, recently met, whatever. Pero yung
Mhm, mhm.
full-blown launch, we plan to do it really big time sometime in the
Hmm.
next couple of months siguro. We don't even have our Facebook page, Instagram, YouTube. We are ready since December, but we don't want to launch it
Yeah.
unless we are really there and we feel like the quality is at par at a certain level na hindi kami mapapaya to be really said or to be really called
Wow.
as a luxury car garage center. In fact, we just recently signed a couple of weeks back with Bosch, the same German
Nice.
company that I worked with. This time, well, automotive division, which means we
Uh-huh.
are a licensed Bosch service center, which means all the products of
Wow.
Bosch will have warranties. And we're only like, I think maybe
Nice.
6 or 7 in Alcuz, about 250 garages in Alcuz, one of 6 maybe right now who has got that license. So
Galing.
in that regard, something again to be proud of for the garage, because you will have the sign of Porsche all over the garage.
Oo.
Then the same thing.
Branding.
Yep. So until all those things are ready and we're really
Mhm.
satisfied na we want to do a grand launch, imbitado kayo lahat, syempre. Punta kayo.
Sure, of course. And alam mo, ang next question ko sana is papaano mo i-market ang iyong business. Pero parang ayoko na itanong kasi baka ma-spoil yung inyong
Mm-hmm.
big launch.
Mm-hmm.
So siguro I might skip that question, but siguro
There, feel
it's
free to
fine.
ask on that regard. Feel free.
Okay, sige. So ano sa tingin mo yung sa ganitong klase ng business, the good thing you already built the trust kaya nga meron na kayong long list of clients. Pero what about yung new client acquisition? Ano sa tingin ninyo yung like what you said, no? There's 200 na iba-ibang garage sa Alcus. Pero paano
Mm-hmm.
niyo make sure na you stand out of the crowd through your marketing strategies? Ano sa tingin mo maging isa pinaka-effective way to do that?
I think the way I see it, at least the first few months, the most effective way is really direct relationship with whoever
Mm.
prospect, and I think that's where the business can count on. Kasi I'm really into connecting and reaching out to
Okay.
people, and in the sales and business development world, I was able to reach out to any level. Really, it can be
Mhm.
the CEO, managing director of a multinational. I'll go out my way. I'll find a way to get in there and reach out, talk to that person in what way I can, and that's what
Mhm.
I'm doing. I already have like probably like 5,000 business cards that I can go through, but
Nice.
I will only do that once I am prepared to really be proud of the garage. When it's really in that full launching mode, then I
Uh-huh.
will really go out there and market it. So, but then of course we'll do the new kind of marketing, traditional media as well. We'll
Uh-huh.
all do that. We'll get the Facebook thing, YouTube, probably like every new luxury car, every let's say Lamborghini or Rolls Royce that you see rolling in, we'll take a
Yeah.
video and then post it on Facebook or
Nice.
YouTube. And then as everyone would go, everyone clicks and likes such videos.
Yeah.
Many people like or love cars, so that
Mhm.
alone can drive traffic. So there are many ways to skin a
Nice.
cat,
Yeah.
and I think
True.
traditional ways there are many ways we can do it, and even the new marketing tools. But then, in my opinion, with this business, because trust is a matter of, let's say, a principle in this garage business. I, I
Mhm.
I I think it's much more into a one-on-one building of relationship.
Okay. Yeah, trust is the foundation of every relationship and
Mm.
in every business as well. Ngayon, eto bro, ano yung sa tingin niyo yung mga important metrics or numbers na kailangan ninyong i-make sure na meet ninyo or na reach niyo to make sure na successful na nagra-run yung auto repair shop nyo?
Metrics, a very good question. Of course, it would be the number of the turnover rate, syempre. The more
Ah,
cars that would get in, then the higher chances of having a higher revenue. It's a numbers
mm,
game, basically. It's a numbers game, just like any business.
oh, okay. So right now, siguro nga since you already built that list of clients, and siguro dadagdagan nyo na lang siya through your efforts
Mm,
with the marketing and sales.
mm, mm.
Basically, you are the secret ng ng Luxurion para magkaroon acquire ng mga bagong clients.
Hopefully that works out. Hopefully I leverage on that experience
Aha,
because
aha.
that's why I'm here for. And again, I guess that's why we are partners because we trust
Yeah.
each other and we really have this separation of duties and responsibilities. He says, I'll be on this technical side, repair, maintenance.
Yeah.
Everything is on you on that side. Managing money, finance, sales,
Aha.
marketing. That's your ball.
That's true. So, kanya-kanyang strength nga, ika nga.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
yeah.
by the way, ito, bigla ko naisip tong quote na to, no? Na I forgot the person, I think it's Mr. Rockefeller, I forgot the name, Rockefeller, ganyan. He
Okay.
said there na, a friendship built in business or built from business is better than a business found in friendship. So, sa inyo, the business was formed through friendship. And
Mhm.
anong magiging reaction mo sa quote na 'yon? Hanapin ko nga 'yun,
I, I,
go-Google
I,
ko nga 'yun.
I do get, I understand where he's coming from, whoever is the author of that quote. Kasi nga, as they say, with friendship, pag nangyari na, when na-challenge ang friendship in many ways kapag pera na daw pinag-usapan or business.
Mhm.
So you'd rather be just friends. In our case naman with my partner, both the same time business and became friends kasi client ako ng garage and we
Hmm.
started the relationship in there. So we kind of knew each other and became friends, but at the same time in a business relationship din nagsimula. So it's a melding of those two things. But yeah, yun nga, I do get where the quote is, what the quote is trying to say. It happens in life na
Yeah.
maraming nagkakasiraan ng pagkakaibigan kapag napasukan na ng negosyo. And I can see
Mhm.
that with the business in Manila, there are quite a number of friends who are also involved, friends of my
Hmm.
friends, and we are already seeing one or two that would have a different mindset just because money talks, as they say. And, we on the other hand, we kind of like had this mentality. If you will show your true colors this early, it's good for us. You know,
Mhm, mhm.
na
Yeah.
hindi na if everything is dictated by the flash of money, then that's not the kind
Uh-huh.
of relationship I would want to be in. So I'd probably like maintain that person as a friendship level,
Mhm.
but probably I'll try to separate business from that person.
Yeah, true. Well, money is indeed a great amplifier. Doon mo makikita yung
Mm.
character niya, eh, 'pag
Yeah.
tinapatan mo ng pera 'yan, eh. 'Yon.
Oh, pero yun
And
nga,
ito
there
mhm.
are other people naman kasi na, let's say, the maturity level is different. So it's a
Yeah.
matter of finding the right people and partner.
Mhm, exactly. Very well said. And ito, final question for your business 'no. What do you think ito bago pa lang sa inyo 'tong, Luxurion, pero what do you think are the do's and don'ts when starting an auto repair shop? Kasi I think meron
Mm.
ding ilang Filipinos na na gusto nito kasi maraming Filipinos ang mahilig
Mm.
sa kotse, eh.
Yep.
And very alam mo naman tayo, gusto rin nating i-try 'yan, pero ano yung tips na puwede mong i-share sa kanila for that?
Kasi the business is literally built on the foundational concept is luxury. I think
Mhm.
karamihan ng at least garages or repair and maintenance service centers na owned by a few Filipinos or friends of ours even,
Mhm.
um, is not into luxury segment.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's an easier market to get in terms of trying to get in,
Mhm.
but then establishing the contacts. It's cutthroat business ang ano kasi ang garage business kapag hindi ka specialized. Very
Hmm.
cutthroat siya. So I would suggest find a niche and not just be somebody as a garage. Kasi Yun nga, marami talaga na nag-garage. As I've said earlier, about 250 garages in
250,
Alcuz alone. Eh, napakaliit na area nun. How many square kilometers lang? I think it's 2 square kilometers lang yung area na yun, industrial area na yun, pero ganun kadaming garage.
Oh,
So, you have to specialize really. You can't just be anyone else.
yon, okay. Kailangan may specialty talaga yung garage mo. And yun nga, parang ikaw yung doktor nung magiging
Mhm.
partner mo pagdating sa kotse nila, right? Now,
Yep.
eto bro, final question for this evening. Paano mo, kasi gusto nating i-inspire ang ating mga Filipino, ang ibang Filipinos to start their own business
Mhm.
while they're here in the UAE building their their wealth and all. Ano yung pwede mo sabihin sa kanila for them to start having their own business, or what piece of advice would you give to overseas Filipinos who want to become entrepreneurs as well?
Wow. For me, actually, it's a very tough question then. Why?
Mhm.
Because I myself am, you can say I'm a late bloomer when it comes to managing my own business. I may have two businesses from back home and here, pero it's quite late as well.
Mhm.
But what I see is, I think it's bottom line really is, siguro it's, I don't know if it's a cliche to say it or
Mhm.
or even parang drama, pero I really do believe na as long as you're a kind person, things will work out for you. And of course, I mean, hindi, wag ka naman yung napapaloko na easily. You don't have to be
Yeah.
kind and stupid. I'm sorry for saying the word, but
It's fine.
be kind and smart at the same time.
Yun, yes.
And in the same direction na sinabi ko at the beginning of yung discussion natin, you should believe na kung anong kaya ng iba kaya mo rin, and there shouldn't be anything that should stop you. If you feel like you want to do it, do it. If you have to believe in yourself, you have to be positive. Same thing, kasi I think the business, opening up a new business is the same as looking for a new job. Imagine how many jobs did I take na magkakaiba, totally different.
Yeah,
But
true.
I wasn't afraid. For me, it's like, pag nandyan na yan, saka ko ipoprove yung sarili ko na kaya ko to. Even if I don't have any experience with that. So, yun naman, ang katapat nun, halos patayin mo rin ang sarili mo to learn that new market, that new industry. So, it's no joke. I mean, it's
Yeah.
probably easy to bull my way around to get that job, but it's not easy once you're there. So, life is never easy, pero nothing should stop you. If you have your mind set into something, just go for it.
Yeah, and you have to walk the talk. And maganda sinabi mo no, na kahit you consider yourself as a late bloomer in terms of itong entrepreneurship na to, pero it's a lesson for us na it's never too late to start for anyone who wants to who has a dream of starting a business. Kasi yung iba, yun yung sinasabi, I'm too young, I'm too old, I'm too inexperienced, I don't have the network and all. Pero like what you said kanina, no bro, I mean, kung gusto mo talaga, may paraan ka eh. And you won't have excuses. And gusto ko yung sinabi mo kanina na parang yung magiging foundation mo is trust and also kindness. Kasi those are, ang sinabi mo dun would be more on character side eh. Hindi siya more on sa skills eh. 'Di ba?
Yep.
And yun yung lumabas dito sa discussion natin na ang investment mo on yourself is mainly of your character. And because of the character that you have, na na-build mo na rin all throughout the years working here in different industries, na-build mo rin yung trust sa mga taong nakakausap mo. And that's, siguro, yun din yung nag-prepare sa'yo para magkaroon ka ng business na katulad nito, which is Luxurion. It's not the typical garage that you see. And usually, na hinahandle ng mga Filipinos. It
serves as a foundation. At the same time, I think what I can add up to that is you never stop learning. You shouldn't stop learning. Exactly. I always say that kasi you shouldn't stop reading, you shouldn't stop watching, you shouldn't stop listening to other people kasi it's what makes your mind work. When you stop learning, ito yung naalala ko na I keep saying to other people na sabi nga, once you tell yourself that you know everything, you're going the wrong way. You can never be an expert of anything. So you
Exactly.
should have that hunger for knowledge. You always have to learn something, because anytime, anywhere, if you need to speak to
Mm.
somebody, they will always look at you in a different way if they can sense from you that you know something. If you need to talk about
Mm.
the ship that got stuck in Suez Canal, or the economy of the US or Europe, the more you know, it doesn't mean, it doesn't matter if it's the Kardashians or whatever. If the more knowledge that you have, the better you are as a person when you talk to people, kasi mas marami kang
Oo
alam.
nga. Oo,
So I
nakaka-relate ka
guess,
sa ano nila. Yeah.
so ang siguro ang sinasabi nilang the sad state of affair these days is mas pinapaboran ng pagiging, am I allowed to say the word?
Parang lamang ang may alam, parang yun yung ano.
Yung negative daw ang may alam ngayon eh.
Talaga ba?
Well, for example, if I go to politics, when you vote this and vote this, na masyado kang nagmamagaling, nagmamarunong. Which is, why should that be a negative thing? You should be knowledgeable when you try to vote and decide.
Yeah,
So the
true.
more that you learn about who you vote for and what you want to do, then the more dapat na encourage me in person to research and have more knowledge, and
Mhm.
not be an imbecile and not know why you're voting for this person just because somebody
Yung
said so.
blind following or
Yeah. Oh my
blind
goodness. You've got it.
actions.
But anyway, let's not go into politics.
Yeah.
It's a
Let's
dangerous
talk about
game.
this. Now, talk about Luxurion, bro. Ito, i-share ko yung ano para you can invite them over sa iyong
Mhm.
ang ganda nito pag parang itsura pa lang. Feeling ko hindi to ano hindi ito kumbaga yung typical na shop para
Mhm.
siyang talagang high-end. Kumbaga, nasan ba yung taga? Hinahanap ko yung aking slides. Ayan. So, ito yung ilan sa mga cars na feature ninyo or sinaserve ninyo, no? Is this a
Mhm.
Ferrari? Yeah, this is a
Yes,
Ferrari, di
it's
ba?
a Ferrari. Yes.
And ako, hindi ako car guy. Aminin ko na, hindi ako masyadong into cars.
Mhm.
Pero,
That's
ito
a
yung, I'm
Bentley.
into, ano
That's
talaga
a G class na Mercedes. The other one is a Bentley.
Nice.
So yes. So the theme
Grabe.
ng garage is all white floors, tiles, white walls. Everything is clean and spanking clean. It's the
Mhm.
niche image that we want. So pag dumarating yung mga clients namin na lokal, minsan sabihin, oh, gusto kong tanggalin ang tsinelas ko kasi parang mas malinis pa to sa bahay ko. So we want to maintain that image. Yun nga, kasi it's a luxury business. So the kind of people you have, they're millionaires. So they would expect
Yeah,
na yung place that they want to bring their car should be
exactly.
having that kind of environment. But yun
Exactly.
nga, as I've said, a lot of improvements needed. So that's why we're not yet fully launched.
Okay. So sige, i-announce natin kung nasan ba. Siyempre, gusto nilang i-visit ang inyong garage, no? Saan natin makikita ang Luxurion Auto Service in Quoz? Anong kanilang address and contact number or Facebook? Ang nailagay ko lang is yung Facebook eh. So it's just here. Pero ano yung inyong contact details and all?
Yes, actually, I would rather than you send me a message on WhatsApp. Anyway, but yes, it's in Alcuz 2, Alcuz Industrial 2. It's across Emirates Printing Press. So malapit din lang. Well, if you're around the area. So, but if in case you want to have a pin drop location sent to you to your WhatsApp messages, then do message me at 056 505-2392, at least for Dubai people or anywhere in the UAE. 056 505-2392.
Yon, 2392. Alright. I-flash natin siya sa screen para makontak
Yon.
nyo si Frando. Ayan, oo. And definitely, lahat ng mga kilala ko may kotse would sa'yo ko i-refer. Saan pa ba? Wala naman akong ibang kaibigan na okay lang ba na kaibigan na tayo, bro? So, yan, sa'yo ko babata yung mga makakausap ko na merong kotse. Kasi I have clients na meron din mga pickup trucks and ibang mga sedans and all. So,
Of
yon,
course.
i-alo ko na to.
Of course, actually, lahat naman pwede kasi although it's a garage for luxury cars, a lot of these guys would have, I don't know, let's say aside, cars that they would have, maybe their driver, they gave them a Toyota Yaris. So we fix a lot of these other cars as well. Because, well, of course, you cannot technically say no to everyone.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh.
So punta lang
yun.
kayo sa garage, have a coffee, and we'll give you a free check-up and service to your car while
Nice.
having a coffee. You don't have to pay anything. Just have a look at the place. Tingnan natin in our computer system kung merong something faulty with the system ng kotse nyo or whatever, and we'll just have a quick look. And then if you don't need to have it fixed, you just feel free to go. Pero let's have a coffee sa garage.
Oo, coffee lang kayo doon. Wala namang masama mag-coffee.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
So bisita lang kayo. Bisita ka lang kayo anytime.
Oo. Coffee than COVID. May laugh dapat yun. So.
Hopefully not. Na-injection na naman ako. And of course, social distancing. We all wear masks when we are in the garage. We practice social distancing naman.
Yon, okay. Well, maraming salamat bro sa time mo ha. And thank you for sharing your wisdom sa ating. Thank you, Kuya Frando. And that wraps our episode for tonight. I hope you gained a lot of wisdom from Mr. Frando Sarmiento of Luxurion Auto Service Center. If you missed the entire live session, you can listen to this on my Parent Purpose podcast through Apple Podcast, Anchor, Spotify, and don't forget to follow Purpose Driven Finance on Facebook, IG, and LinkedIn. Of course, i-check nyo na rin ang kanilang Facebook anytime soon. They will have a grand launch and I hope we can be there. And once again, ito ulit si Kuya Jay. Kasama natin si Mr. Frando Sarmiento telling you to prosper with a purpose. See you next week.
Good night, everyone. Bye.
Good night. Salamat. Bye-bye.